Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aintree Racecourse here on Saturday. It is April the 14th, 2018. It's Grand National Day from Aintree, and I'm going to look at all the races, including the Grand National. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Excellent card of racing from Aintree, going to look at all 7 races. So let's get on to it, starting off with the first race, the 145 from Aintree. The 145, it's the Grade 3 Gas Kills Handicap Hurdle. Grade 3 race going for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $101,500. I use the American dollar currency because it's just a lot easier for me personally to know the prize money instead of the British pounds. Just keep that in mind. With the exchange rates a little different. But this race is for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 22 horses going the distance of ground of 3 miles and 1/8 over the hurdle course. A lot of these races today are very wide open, so I'm going to do, in some races I'll give you a tri-cast out or a forecast, but some other races I'm going to give you 3 horses that I think can win, and I'll do a small each way wager on all 3 of them. This is one of those races that's very wide open, and my top 3 picks in this race, I like the number 2 horse, Knight of Nor. I like the number 8 horse here, Shannon Bridge, and I also like the number 10 horse here, Red Indian. So 2, 8, 10 for me here in the opener from Aintree. First horse I like is the number 2 horse, Knight of Nor, 20-1. Schofield was supposed to be on this horse, according to my form guide, but it looks like he got replaced with Tom Bellamy. Michael Blake trains this one for this 9-year-old gelding by Winged Love. He's at 20-1 here in America, but I saw he was trading at 50-1 this afternoon for this race, which is quite high in the UK markets. But I like him a lot. Even though his last race was a disaster at Cheltenham, 3 miles and 1/8, heavy ground, the ultimate handicap chase. He didn't finish that day. He pulled that bad of it. It was his first race in quite a while, so I think he might need the race. I think second off the layoff coming here, he should run well. Start before a Chepstow, yielding ground, 3 miles in a Class 3 handicap chase. Horse won by 3.5 lengths. He jumped well and had a great victory that day, an all-around great race. And then at Worcester on the 29th of September, yielding ground, 2 miles 7/8 Class 4 novice chase. Horse finished second by a half length. He just missed at the end, but he had a very respectable run. And then at Cartmel in late August, yielding ground, 3 miles and 1/8 Class 2 handicap hurdle. Horse finished 5th by 19 lengths. He just kind of weakened out of it, a few from home. It just wasn't his day to win. The lower weighted horses won that day, but I think second off the layoff in this spot, I do think he should run well. Watch out for him. Also watch out for the number 8 horse here, Shannon Bridge, 15-1. Harry Skelton is on this Dan Skelton trained 5-year-old gelding by Flemsforth. This horse's most recent outing came in the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle Grade 2 event at Haydock, 2 miles 7/8 the 17th of February. Again, this horse didn't finish that day. That afternoon at Haydock was a very wet, almost waterlogged turf course. A lot of horses weren't handling it. I talk about it more later on in the Grand National, but this horse just kind of really couldn't keep up with them. The ground wasn't to his liking and just didn't finish. But you throw that race out. A lot of the horses that hit at Haydock who didn't handle the ground won next start out. So that's a nice fact to know. But this horse just didn't handle it. Before that, the 27th of January at Doncaster, soft ground, 3 miles in the Grade 2 Albert Bartlett River Don Novice Hurdle. Horse finished second by a nose. Just missed at the end. The closure got to this horse, but he ran his heart out that day. And then at Southwell, soft ground, 2 miles and a half National Hunt Novice Hurdle Class 4 event. Horse finished second by half length. Just missed at the end. Again, the closer got to this horse. I like this horse jumping in the front end, and at 15-1 with the sweat ground, hopefully he doesn't get caught. I think he can run a big one. Watch out for him. Along with the number 10 horse here, Red Indian, 10-1. David Bass is on this one for Ben Pauling. This horse's most recent outing came at the Festival at Cheltenham last month. 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 3 Coral Cup. This horse finished 6th by 6.5 lengths that day. Kind of weakened out of it the final flight and up the hill. It just wasn't his day to win. Before that, on the 2 miles to Rates Toaster, or Toaster. Can't say the race course name now. Pardon me. It's very late here in America. Well, very late for me to be up. I've been up for the last 12 hours. But horses start before on the 23rd, on the 8th of February. 2 miles straight, Class 3 handicap hurdle. This horse finished second by 1/4 lengths. Again, he just couldn't get that good closing kick at the end. The winner just ran a little bit better. And then at Kempton, 2 miles 5/8 enlisted handicap hurdle. Horse finished third by 2 3/4 lengths. Again, he just really couldn't get that good closing kick. But I think on this turf course, it's not so demanding as other turf courses in the UK. He should run a big one at 10-1. He's due for a victory, and I think he'll get it today. Watch out for him. So to recap my bets for the first, the 145 from Aintree. It's the grade 3 Gas Kills handicap hurdle. Gonna go with the number 2 horse here, Knight of Nor. I'm also gonna use the 8 horse Shannon Bridge, and I'm gonna use the 10 horse Red Indian. 2, 8, 10, and the 145 from Aintree. The second race, the 225. The 225, it's the Grade 1 Betway Mersey's Novice Hurdle. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $135,000. It's for novice 5-year-olds, or excuse me, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 14 horses here, going the distance of ground, 4,000 meters, 2 miles and 1/2 over the hurdle course. Top 2 picks in this race. I like the number 4 horse, Black Op, and I also like the number 11 horse here on the blind side. 4-11 here in the second race from Aintree. But my first horse to talk about is number 4 horse, Black Op, 9-5. No feelies on this Tom George trained 7-year-old gelding by Sam Mason. This horse's most recent outing came on the 14th of March at Cheltenham. 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 1 Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Horse finished second by 2 3/4 lengths that day, and just couldn't get that head in front at the end. The winner, Sam Crow, just ran a little bit better, but this horse, he ran as a stellar race, I think. Before that, at the preview day at Cheltenham, 2 miles and a half, Grade 2 Ballymore Classic Novice Hurdle. Horse finished second by 3/4 length, and again, he just couldn't get that good kick at the end up the hill. He ran well, but he just lacked a little at the end. And then at Doncaster in January 9th, 2 miles 5/8 Class 5 main hurdle. Horse won by 17 lengths, a very easy walk in the park. His last 2 were very hard-fought races. I think on this race course, I think he should run well. Watch out for him. I also like the number 11 horse here. The number 11 horse on the blind side. Nico de Boinville is on this. Nicky Henderson trained 6-year-old gelding by Stowaway. He's been pretty perfect. He's 4 for 4 in his very short career. His most recent outing came in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle at Sandown, 2 miles and a half on the 8th of December. Horse won by 9 lengths that day, and he just jumped well and destroyed the field. A very good victory for this horse. Before that, Cheltenham, 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 2 Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Again, he won by 2.5 lengths, 9-2 third choice. It destroyed the field again, and then the maiden hurdle at Aintree locally, 2 miles and a half, 29th of October. Horse won by 3/4 length. A very good victory for this horse. Wasn't as flashy as his other 2, but it's another very good victory. And then he won his first race in a point-to-point in Ireland very easily. But, he's been on the up and up here, off the layoff. I like him a lot. At 5-2, it's not the best price, but I think we're going to have to take it in this race. So watch out for him. So to recap my bets for the second race, the 225 from Aintree, it's the Grade 1 Mersey Novices Hurdle. Gonna go with the 4 horse Black Op. I also like the number 11 horse here on the blind side, 4-11. So now let's get on to today's 3 o'clock from Aintree. The third race from Aintree, the 3 o'clock, it's the Grade 1 Zoom Bar Moghull Novices Chase. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $135,000. It's for novice 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going the 3,200-meter trip, or 2 miles over the chase course. This is the kind of race that it's very easy to give out a top pick, because I think the favorite's going to run well. That's going to be the 4 horse Petite Monsieur. Hopefully I said that right. I'm going to go 4-6-2 in the tricast, or the trifecta. 4-6-2, tricast, trifecta. Basically, that's my top 3, but my top pick here is the 4 horse Petite Monsieur. Davy Russell's on this Henry de Bromhead trained 7-year-old gelding by Al Namix. This horse's most recent outing came at Cheltenham, 2 miles in the Racing Post Trophy, Arkle Challenge Trophy. He finished third by 15 lengths that day behind Footpad, who I thought ran well, even though on paper I don't think I backed him. This horse just kind of weakened out of it. Final few from the fence, weakened up out of the hill. It just wasn't his day to win. But I think coming here to this chase course, which is not nearly as tough as Cheltenham's, I do think he should be on the improvement today. Start before Leopardstown during their inaugural festival in February, 2 miles and 1/8 in Grade 1 Frank Ward Solicitor's Arkle Novice Chase. He finished second by 5 lengths behind Footpad, who ran a hell of a race. That was one of Footpad's better races. His horse, again, was just second best behind him. He jumped well, but couldn't catch that good horse. And then the beginner's chase at Punchestown, 2 miles in mid-October. He won by 7 lengths, had a very easy victory that day. Over the chases, he's run pretty well. His last one wasn't so good, but his 2 before that were very good. He's due for a big run. At 1-2, I think he'll run big, but the odds suck, I must say. So to recap my bets for the third from Aintree, the 3 o'clock, it's the Grade 1 Moghull Novices Chase. Gonna go with the 4 horse Petite Monsieur. Gonna go 4-6-2 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 4, the 340 from Aintree. The 340, it's the Grade 3 Betway Handicap Chase. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $101,500. It's for 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 17 horses going the distance of ground of 3 miles and 1/8 over the chase course. I'm going to give you 2 horses that I think can win. Those 2 or 3 horses, whatever I just said, are going to be the 3-horse Old Granger Wood. I also like the 4-horse here, Rocklander, and the horse I like a little bit for not to win, but definitely could get second or third. It's going to be Casse Teeth, the 8-horse. I'm going to play probably an exact. Here, which is going to go 3-4 boxed for the win, and for the second I'm going to use 3-4-8. But Casse Teeth is more for the place spots for me. But my top 2 that I think can win are the 3 and 4. The 3-horse Old Grange Wood at 8-1. Harry Skelton, Dan Skelton trains a 7-year-old gelding by Central Park. I think he's due for a good run. His last one at Cheltenham last month in the 15th of March, 2 miles 5/8 in Grade 3 Brown Advisory and Maribel Stable Plate Handicap Chase. That was a disaster race. He pulled up out of it. He couldn't really keep up with them, but it was the horse's first start in almost 4 months, so I think he might have needed that race. I think second off the layoff here, he should run a lot better this race, and plus this race is not nearly as tough as that race. Before that, Newberry, 2.5 miles into Class 2 Handicap Chase. 6-1. This horse won by half length, had a great victory, and just won very nicely. And then at Aintree, 29th of October, yielding ground 2.5 miles, and the Grade 2 Monets Guarded Old Roan Limited Handicap Chase. He finished third by 9 3/4 lengths and had a decent third place finish. He jumped well around the race course. It wasn't a bad race for a second off a layoff, but I think coming here today, second off the layoff again, he should run a very big one. I like him a lot at 8-1, so watch out for him. And I also like the 4-horse Rocklander at 6-1. AP Heskin gets on this one for Tom George, 9-year-old gelding by Oscar. He ran at the festival last month at Cheltenham, soft ground, 2.5 miles in a limited listed novice handicap chase Class 1 event. Horse finished third by 3 1/4 lengths that day, and just really couldn't get up the hill at the end. It wasn't his day to win. The winner ran a little bit better, but he overperformed what his odds said because he was 25-1. That was the only good thing about him. He didn't run like a 25-1 shot should. Normally 25-1 shots usually finish dead last, but he ran quite well that day for his odds. Today it's 6-1, not as good as 25-1, but he still should do well. So before that, Newberry, 2 miles straight course, Class 3 handicap chase. He won by 3 3/4 lengths. He quickened up nicely, jumped well, and had a very easy victory. Major improvement off his start 4 in the Grade 2 December Novices Chase at Doncaster, 3 miles 16th December. He didn't finish that day. He lost a rider in a field of 4. Disappointing beat, but it just wasn't his day to win. The ground was very dry that day also, so maybe he didn't get a piece of dry ground. He is a kind of horse that likes very wet ground. He'll definitely see it today at 6-1, facing lesser quality horses. He'll run a big one, so watch out. So to recap my bets for the 4th race from Aintree, the 340, it's the Grade 3 Betway Handicap Chase. I'm going to go with the 3-horse Old Grange Wood. I'm also going to use the 4-horse Rocklander. I'm going to do a exacta here, or forecast 3-4 with the 3-4-8. 3-4 with the 3-4-8. So now let's get on to race number 5, the 5th race, the 420 from Aintree. It is the Grade 1 Ryanair Stayers Hurdle. It's going for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $243,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses going the distance of ground of 3 miles and 1/8 over the hurdle course. My top pick in here, I like the 4-horse Lola Rockefeller. I'm going to go 4-11-6 in the TriCast of the trifecta. 4-11-6, but I wouldn't be surprised if a Holstone wins also. But his odds are a little bit too low for my liking in this race. But the 4-horse Lola Rockefeller at 15-1, I think can run a very big race. Trevor Whalen gets on this one for Neil King, the 7-year-old gelding by Hardspun, who's a great horse. He was a great 3-year-old about 10 years ago here in North America. He ran in the Derby. He finished behind Street Sense that year. I believe he might have won the Haskell or something like that here in America. Hardspun. I know he ran the Breeders' Cup Classic at Monmouth in 2007. I think he finished second. Had him that day. That's why he finished second. But he was a good horse. Not a horse I really think about siring jumpers, but this horse has jumped well in the past, I must say. He ran last month at Cheltenham, 3 miles in the Grade 1 Sunbet Stayers Hurdle. He finished 13th by 29 lengths, and he just kind of hit the wall a few from home. Didn't have the best of jumps. It wasn't his day to win. Before that, of Fontwell, 25th of February, 2 miles to rates in the Grade 2 Tote Pool National Spirit Hurdle. Horse finished second by 1.5 lengths. He was second, definitely second best that day. Old Guard just ran a little bit better than him, but he jumped well that day. And then at Ascot, 3 miles into JLT Reeve de Savola Long Walk Hurdle. Horse finished sixth by 23 lengths. Very tough race and very tough going. He just really couldn't keep up with them. But before that, he won the Coral Hurdle very nicely at Ascot on the 25th of November. Won that race by 1.5 lengths. He just jumped very easily. He's due for a big run here today. If you take out the Cheltenham race, he's run pretty well this season so far. At 15-1, I think he can get a piece of it. This is the kind of race that's a little wide open, but not as wide open as the other races. I'm gonna stick it to this horse here at 15-1, Little Rockefeller. But like I said earlier, if the 11 horse Holstone wins, I wouldn't be surprised either. I like him a little bit, but his odds are just a little bit too low in the spot for me. So to recap my bets now for the fifth race from Aintree, the 420, it's the Grade 1 Ryanair Stayers Hurdle. Gonna go with the 4 horse Little Rockefeller. Gonna go 4-11-6 in the TriCast, the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 6 from the 5:15, the sixth race from Aintree. It's the big one of the day. It is the Grade 3 Randox Health Grand National Handicap Chase. It's a Grade 3 race for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $1.3 million about in the American currency, so don't get confused here. This race is for 7-year-olds and upwards. Field of 40 horses going the distance of ground of 4 miles and 1/4 on the Grand National Course. We're going to have a little moisture in the course today at Aintree, so just keep that in mind. So it's going to be a good race here. With 40 horses being in this race, I'm not going to give you a TriCast, I'm not going to give you a forecast, I'm not going to give you anything other than the top 6 horses I think that have a piece, have a shot to win here today. Those 6 horses are going to be the number 2 horse, Black Lion, the number 4 horse here, The Last Samurai, the number 6 horse, Total Recall. I also like the number 15 horse here, Vion Le Rouge. I also like the number 19 horse here, Gasline Boy, and I also like the number 20 horse, The Dutchman. Those horses were the 2, 4, 6, 15, 19, and the number 20. The first horse I'll be talking about here is the number 2 horse, Black Lion. He's at 8-1 here. Sam Twiston Davies gets on this one. He's the heavyweight of this bunch, but I do think he could overcome it to run a big one here today, because he's running some very tough races his last few. His last one at Haydock on the 17th of February was a very tough race. Very demanding ground. You're going to see demanding ground today, but not as demanding as that day as at Haydock. 3.5 miles in the Grade 3 Betfred Grand National Trial Handicap Chase. This horse finished second by 50 lengths behind Yala Enki, who had a hell of a run. This horse is the 5-2 favorite off a bit of a layoff. Just really never showed up that day. The winner, like I said, the winner just ran a lot better. Before that in Aintree, locally, 9th of December, 3.25 miles in the Grade 3 Randox Health Beecher Chase. This horse won by 9 lengths that day. Was just under the even 2-1 favorite. And again, he jumped well and had a very nice victory over this course on demanding ground. Very wet day that day in Aintree also. And then at Weatherby, 3 miles into Charlie Hall Chase. He finished second by half length. He jumped well. He just missed, but it wasn't a bad run. He finished 4th in this race last year as the 8-1 favorite, and he just kind of weakened out of it around the elbow. Well, it just wasn't his day to win. He couldn't keep up, but I think he's coming to this race a lot better this year. And at 8-1, I like this horse's chances, so watch out for him. Another horse I like here is the number 4 horse, The Last Samurai. Gets the leg up of David Bass, 10-year-old gelding by Flemsforth. Kim Bailey trains this one. This horse ran at the Festival at Cheltenham last month on the 14th of March. Soft ground, 3 miles and 3/4 in the cross country. This horse finished third by 13 lengths behind Tiger Roll. Tiger Roll is running back into this one today. Talking about Tiger Roll for a second, I like Tiger Roll a tiny bit, but not enough to really play. Say I would play a TriCast. I think Tiger Roll could possibly get 3rd or 2nd. I don't think she's good enough to win, but this horse finished 3rd behind Tiger Roll that day. This horse just really couldn't get that good closing kick up the hill. Jumped well around the course. It wasn't a bad trial for this race. Before that, Cheltenham, 3 miles and 8th in the Coltswell Chase. Horse finished 4th by 11 lengths and really just couldn't keep up with them that day. That was a very tough race. And then here at Aintree last December in the Beecher Chase, horse finished 2nd behind Black Lion. Again, couldn't catch Black Lion, who ran a hell of a race, but this horse, he jumped well around the course. He's a horse that, he's run well here at Aintree in the past. I like him a lot in this spot. At 15 to 1, a horse you want on your ticket. Another horse here I like is the number 6 horse, Total Recall. Paul Townend is on this Willie Mullins trained 6-year-old gelding by Westerner. This horse ran at the festival last month at Cheltenham in the Gold Cup. He didn't finish that day. 14 to 1, he fell a few from home. Disappointing beat, but if you take that race out, this horse was pretty perfect this season so far. He ran before that at Leopardstown there in their inaugural festival, 3 miles on a handicap hurdle. He won by 3 lengths over the hurdle. He destroyed the field at 83 cents to the dollar, and then the Ladbrokes Trophy Chase at Newbury, 3 miles and a quarter, December the 2nd. Horse won by neck. He had a great turn of foot at the end, and it was a decent victory. He jumped well going around the course. He could definitely stay the distance of ground. He has a good weight of 159 pounds. He's a horse you really want on your ticket also, so watch out for him. Another horse I like here is going to be the number 15 horse here. The number 15, Vial Le Rouge. Hopefully I said that right. 20 to 1 here. Tom Scudamore is on this David Pipe trained 9-year-old gelding. This horse's most recent outing came on the 17th of February at Ascot. Soft ground, 3 miles in a Class 1 handicap chase. He finished 4th by 12 lengths and just really couldn't get a good kick at the end. It was the horse's first start since the Beecher Chase, so maybe he needed that race, but that was a very tough race. It's not nearly as tough as today's race, I think. But before then, the Beecher Chase at Aintree, 3 miles and a quarter heavy ground, 9th December. Horse finished 7th by 50 lengths, and again, kind of just hit the wall around the final few fences. He hasn't been the same horse since last year's Grand National, but he's been getting better with every start. He had a crap start in the Beecher Chase. Before they had an even shittier start off the layoff in the Charlie Hall Chase, where he finished 4th by 44 lengths. But he's been getting, he's been losing by less and less margins. I think today, a fresher horse with good weight of 153 pounds, I definitely think he could stay the distance of grounds. He's like the going. He's due for a big run. It's probably going to be his best run of the season. Say he doesn't even win, it'll probably be his best run of the season also. So watch out for him at 20 to 1. He could run a big one. Along with the number 19 horse here, the number 19 Gasline Boy. 15 to 1 here. Robert Dooney's on this Ian Williams trained 9-year-old gelding by Blueprint. This horse's most recent running came at the 6th of January at Sandown. Heavy ground that afternoon, 3 miles in a Class 2 handicap chase. He finished 3rd by 5 lengths that day. Sorry about that. Didn't know that monitor was on so loud. Didn't know that monitor was plugged in. But back to the Gasline Boy. As you can tell, there's no editing. His last start at Sandown, 3 miles in a Class 2 handicap chase. He finished 3rd by 5 lengths that day. And he just, he was under the drive for the last few portions of the race. He really couldn't keep up with them. But before that here at Aintree, he had a very good race, I think. Heavy ground, 2 miles 5 inch Class 2 handicap chase. He won by 4.5 lengths. He quickened up nicely, jumped well, and had a great victory. Before that Aintree in late October, 3 miles and 1/8 in a handicap chase. He didn't finish that day. He fell. Disappointing beat, but it was his first start since last year's Grand National, where he finished 15th by 17 lengths. He just weakened a few from home, but he jumped well in the early portions of the race. I like his weight again this year, 151 pounds. I think he's coming to this race a lot better than he did last year, and I think he's the horse on the improve also. Watch out for him at the end, along with the number 20 horse, my final pick for this race, the Dutchman, the 20 horse. He's 20 to 1 here. Harry Cobden is on this one for Colin Tizard, who trains as an 8-year-old gelding by King's Theatre. This horse's most recent run came on the 17th of February at Haydock, 3 miles and a half in the Betfred Grand National Trial Handicap Chase. Didn't finish that day. He pulled up out of it. Like I said earlier, that afternoon at Haydock, the ground was very, very, very demanding and wet, almost waterlogged, and a lot of horses weren't handling it. This horse just really couldn't keep up with them. If you take out that race, this horse ran pretty well this season so far, though. Before that, in the Peter Marsh handicap chase at Haydock, 3 miles and a quarter, January 20th, he won by 13 lengths, had a great turn of foot, and destroyed that field. That race was actually tougher than the Grand National Trial, which is very weird why he couldn't keep up with them in that race. But before that, in the handicap hurdle at Cheltenham, 3 miles, 15th of December, finished 6th by 14 lengths. He kind of weakened out in the run-in up the hill. He just had nothing left. And then before that, in the Stayers, Betfair Stayers handicap hurdle at Haydock, 2 miles 7/8, November 25th. Horse finished 2nd by 17 lengths. The winner, Sam Spinner, ran a hell of a race. This horse was 2nd best, but I like him in this spot here today. He should, he's going to be on the improve. Ground's not as demanding as last time out. Watch out for him to run a very big one here today. So to recap my bets for today's sixth race from Aintree, the 5:15, it's the Grade 3 Randox Health Grand National. My top six in this race, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Black Lion. I'm going to use the 4 horse, The Last Samurai. I'm going to use the 6 horse, Total Recall. I'm going to use the number 15 horse here, Vion Le Rouge. I'm also going to use the number 19 horse here, Gasline Boy. And I'm also going to use the number 20 horse here, The Dutchman. Those numbers were the 2, 4, 6, 15, 19, and the number 20. So now we're going to head on to race number 7 here from Aintree, which is the 620. The 620, the finale on tonight's card from Aintree, or this afternoon's card from Aintree. It is the Pin Cent Mason's Handicap Hurdle. It's Class 2 race here, Class 2 conditional handicap hurdle, going for a purse of $67,500. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 19 horses going the distance of ground of 3,300 meters, or 2 miles and 1/16 on the hurdle course. My top 2 horses for this race, a very wide open race like a lot of these races today at Aintree. I'm going to give you 2 horses that I think can win. Those 2 horses are going to be the 7 horse Michael's Mounts, and I also like the number 14 horse Shoe Time. The first horse we'll be talking about is number 7 horse here, Michael's Mount. 4-1, James Bowen is on this Ian Williams trained 5-year-old gelding by Mount Nelson. This horse had to start at Ludlow last month, 22nd of March, soft ground, 2 miles into Class 4 novice hurdle, 1 by 1 3/4 lengths, stepped down in class, 20 cents to the dollar favorite. He just had a very easy victory, jumped well, an all-around great race. Before that, Kempton, 2 miles in the Dovecot hurdle. Horse finished third by 13 lengths that day. Just really couldn't get that good kick at the end. He jumped well for most of the fences that day. He had a few mistakes, but over half of them he did jump well, but at the end he just backed a little at the end. And then before the novice hurdle Class 4 event, Doncaster, 2 miles and 8th of February. Horse won by 2.5 lengths, first over the hurdles in a while. He just jumped well and had a very easy victory. Other than that race at Kempton, he's run pretty well. He should run a big one here today. 4-1. I'll take my shot with him, along with the number 14 horse here, Shoe Time. 10-1 here, gets Walsh in the saddle for James Nash, who trains his 5-year-old gelding by Archon. This horse's most recent outing came in Ireland at Thurles. Heavy ground, 2 miles in a conditional maiden hurdle. Horse won by 6.5 lengths that day. Was the 1-2 favorite. Jumped well and had a very nice victory at the end. Before that, at Punchestown, 2 miles and 16th main hurdle, horse finished 4th by 15 lengths and really couldn't get a kick that day. It was a very tough race, so maybe it just wasn't his day to win. And then at Catterick, 2 miles 3, it's Class 4 novice hurdle. Horse finished second by 1/4 lengths. Again, couldn't catch the winner, but he was definitely second best that day. I like this horse in this race a lot. At 10-1, I think this horse could get a piece of it, so watch out. So to recap my bets for the 7th, the 620 from Aintree. It's the finale on the Grand National meeting. I'm going to go with the number 7 horse, Michael's Mount, and I'm also going to use the number 14 horse here, Shoe Time. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me here on YouTube starting Tuesday for the Craven meeting from Newmarket. I will have preview for all 3 race days from Newmarket, previews here on YouTube for that, and also join me in about 3 weeks time for my Kentucky Derby preview here on YouTube. It's going to be an excellent month of races. In 3 weeks time also we have the Guineas, 1,000 and 2,000 guineas from Newmarket also, so great races around the corner. It's become, the summer is about to get here, and it's a good time of the year, so join me here on YouTube for all that. Good luck everybody, and let's make some money today.